Hi everyone, my name is Boyeun. I'm a PhD candidate for Petras at Lancaster University. Today I'm going to talk about how to create value for Internet of Things. This research is conducted within Petras IoT Research Hub, which is a consortium of 9 leading UK universities and 30 organizations funded by EPSRC. We've been working together for 3 years to explore 5 different issues around Internet of Things. Okay, so as we all recognize, the number of IoT is increasing, and it is estimated that the economic value of IoT will potentially be around 4 to 11 trillion by 2025. However, only 26% of all surveyed companies are successful with their IoT initiatives, and most of their IoT applications are still at the proof of concept stage. It is identified that one of the reasons for the lack of development experience, and the researchers argue that it is time to reframe MPD processes for IoT. As such, this research is going to answer the following 3 questions using a strongly qualitative research methods approach, including an extensive examination of current literature and a single in-depth case study. In order to answer the first question, existing MPD processes are reviewed. The majority of the development processes for traditional products represent conventional sequential approaches, like Robert Cooper's stage gate process. Diverse MPD models, including service design process, open innovation process, agile approach, and software development processes are continuously evolving, supported by emergent trends in development environment, such as cross-functional approach, external network interactions, iterative and incremental approach. However, they are regarded as obsolete in IoT development context. This is because creating products, services, and value for IoT is affected by the key factors such as characteristics of digital technologies, dimensions of digital innovation and big data, material properties of digital artifacts. As such, this paper will explore emerging design process for IoT products and services through the SPHERE case study. So SPHERE project is the abbreviation of Sensor Platform for Health in a Residential Environment. It is a smart home system for monitoring residents' physical and mental well-being, led by Professor Ian Craddock in Bristol University. The aim of the project is to measure the value of the system and the value and the cost of acquiring of data. Thus, this project is selected as a case study to identify their development process. This is the IoT process illustrated by the project leader. The IoT development process contains 8 stages, and I will go through the stages from the beginning, which is identifying customer requirements. In the first stage, SPHERE had to understand what future customer requirements are, but it was not easy because customers were not familiar with IoT systems, not knowing what opportunities and benefits it could offer to them. Thus, it challenges the team to accurately define what their requirements are. And beyond identifying and understanding customers' requirements, it was significant to build strong relationships with the customers in preparing for commercializing or scaling up their IoT system. After identifying customers' requirements, SPHERE had to explore appropriate technology for the system. As it is argued that the technical risks may be encountered in the majority of MPD process stages, a number of strategic decisions were expected to be made, such as what kind of system to develop, what level of smartness and intelligence the system to have, what sensors to use, how often collect the data from the sensors, whether to use labeled data or to label their own data. One of the critical risks here is that no one knows the performance of the system until the system is actually developed and deployed. Once you identify the specification of IoT product and service, you test the feasibility and acceptability and develop sensors. The team prototyped the system using ethnographic methods and participatory techniques. They had 25 participants. Each of the participants spent 2 weeks in the SPHERE house, which took 1 year. SPHERE house is a physical space in which the SPHERE system is built for prototyping. The risks here is that it is unable to test feasibility until sufficient data has been collected, and 25 participants, which is small sample size, results is not enough data to make decisions in the consensus. Also, random data and acceptability is collected depending on user groups. At the stage of testing feasibility and acceptability, Sphere didn't have their own sensor, so sensor was being developed at the same time. This stage is to finalize design and integrate and debug system. However, as the scope and features and value of digital offerings continue to evolve and the pace of technological development increases, it is never been able to fix the design and integrate system. The risks at this stage are not only the continuous pressure of finalizing design, but also the increasing time and cost required for project completion. It is also challenging to have strategic alliances and to overcome the interoperability among different players. Having more products connected with a number of stakeholders would be one possibility to have more opportunities in value creation. However, with more partners getting involved in the value constellation, there is likely to be a bigger risk if data leakage incidents arose. Procurement and installation stages follow after the team finalizing and integrating system. During the procurement phase of the IoT system development, it was recognized that special attention should be paid to issues around quality control. For example, problems in being unable to procure hardware components. It can lead to the whole system having to be started again, new suppliers found, or the design being changed. Having constant and predictable quality of procurement is not a new issue, but harder to control with the rapid pace of technology development and globalization. In the Sphere project, recruitment, marketing, and retail phases are omitted between the procurement and installation stage because the aim of the project was not to commercialize the IoT system. Regarding installation, small companies and startups should consider who will install the system, which would affect their overall success. Last two stages are monitoring and maintaining IoT system and evaluating qualitative and quantitative data. During monitoring and maintaining IoT system phase, user data and diagnostic data on the system is collected and used to evaluate and improve the IoT system. The risk here is who would be responsible for data leakage and cost issue regarding who is monitoring and maintaining IoT system. At this final stage, value of IoT system would be defined and redefined based on strategic decisions on data such as how to create data, what value to create, how to scale up this value constellation. I only listed 3 strategic decisions, but there are many more to be considered. Based on Sphere IoT development process, a new approach towards IoT development is identified. As we've seen from the case study, the new process for IoT development should be a continuous and emergent. Once IoT products and services are deployed, data is collected and evaluated so that the features and value proposition of IoT system could be evolved. This flexibility in value creation is desirable, but also very risky as the design never been fixed. Thus, design should get involved in value creation more actively over IoT process. Due to real-time data, spatial, temporal division between the development phases coincide. The new approach is well represented by the IoT development process, which is developed by Jacobs and Cooper in 2018. These are the risks identified in developing IoT products and services. Considering the factors that affect IoT development and value constellation, value creation, development risks in IoT is identified as more difficult to manage compared to the risks in traditional economy. This is because MPD activities in IoT tend to occur more externally and to be affected by a diverse variety of external risks, such as a hyper-accelerated innovation cycle of the evolution of IoT technologies, insufficient security privacy policies, regulations, and standards. And the figures left is a value constellation model, which seems applicable to the value creation in the IoT, as it describes the interplay between various actors. And there is a challenges are found in co-working and communication with partners and suppliers. In an unconnected world, a single device may have a minor problem, but for the IoT system as a whole, the chain reactions of other connected devices can become catastrophic. These two shows the difference of value creation between traditional product and smart product. On the left, the value is created and delivered through the traditional product. The value proposition was met at the point of sale when consumers perceived the value for the product or service was worth the price. On the right, in digital economy, value is created based on the data generated by sensors and delivered through IoT system. There is no critical peak point of adding value, but value has the potential to be adapted on a continuous basis. The yellow block on the graphs implies the moment of designers' contribution to value creation. In the old economy, designers were only able to access to limited information on existing needs beyond its selling point. Hence, they anticipate and develop best guess products, adding value of the brands, a logo, improving type styling and colors for a unique identity. However, in the connected world, finalizing IoT products and services is not possible, so designers are enabled to push new features to the customer on a regular basis. There are differences between traditional product development and IoT system development. In discover phase, it is significant to make customers to understand what they would benefit from the IoT system before identifying and understanding their requirements. Also, to establish a mutually rewarding and strong relationship with experts and future customers is a key in value creation. Then the company has to strategically consider the level of smartness of the system for the right solution. In the development phase, they should quickly start to build both hardware and software products and access to many users to test and refine algorithms. Also slowly expand value constellation with devices, enabling them to evaluate their IoT system. While delivering IoT services, it is required to fiercely question themselves about how they curate data and to be prepared to transform their business orientation from product to service. Before bringing the presentation to an end, here's the book that you could explore more about how to create values or design in the IoT. Thank you for listening.